Hi, I'm Aldo. Welcome to Plays the Thing, the channel where I share my experiences prepping and playing tabletop role-playing games. In my last video, I talked about character relationships and party dynamics in our second session of D&D 2024 Redmarch. Today, I want to share what happened in our third session of that campaign, when the party went deeper into the vault and faced a choice with no clear right answer. Unfortunately, the session started with a little bit of a complication. About 10 or 20 minutes before we were supposed to play, Mario called to say that he had to bow out, and that meant that Roman, who'd been central to the previous session's character drama, wouldn't be there. Also, Dano had told us ahead of time that he would not be able to attend and play Vex that night. We decided to play anyway and just relegated those characters to the background like we've done in other games when life gets in the way. Not ideal, but sometimes it's what you have to do. With the remaining players, the party went deeper into the vault. By this point, I'd had time to properly map out the facility so they could explore it systematically. The vault wasn't just a single chamber, it was a complex with laboratories, armories, barracks, and living quarters. And if you recall, they'd already found the gauntlets of the Embered hand last time, which gave the person who wielded them fists of fire, but at the expense of having to resist the fury that imbued them with that power. As they explored, they found other magic items I'd placed throughout the facility. In the armory, after fighting some animated suits of armor, they discovered the Ashen Brand, a longsword that deals extra radiant damage to orcs and demons, but fills the wielder's mind with memories of war, potentially preventing restful sleep. In the library, they had to fight a specter to claim the Tome of the Emberwatch, a spell book that teaches fire magic but causes psychic damage as the wielder experiences memories of the warlocks who once used it. Chalith was very drawn to the tome, and Nico kind of watched over her shoulder as she flipped through the pages. They both then put it away to deal with the potential risks of working with this magic item later. The party also found the ever-burning torch in a secret compartment. It provides light that never fails, but anyone who sleeps near it experiences restless dreams of fire and war, and again, making rest less effective. Each of these items was powerful, but came with a meaningful cost. These weren't just mechanical bonuses, they were tools that would shape how the characters experience the world. Having amassed all of these items, they pressed on to the furthest reaches of the vault, and that's where they met the master of the facility, Varric. Varric is a Nothic, a wizard corrupted by experimenting with foul magic, but he actually wasn't hostile. In fact, he welcomed them. He was insane, but through that insanity, he explained that he was the one who had opened the vault door to let them in. He had crafted all these magic items a long time ago, but the items were incomplete, and if they would be taken from the vault, the magic would ebb from them quickly. Varric, however, offered a solution. In his madness, he was committed to these items leaving the facility to destroy the orcs. I mean, that's why he had created them to begin with. In order for that to happen, in order to complete the creation of the items, the characters had to perform a ritual that involved a blood sacrifice. Now, here's the thing. Varric wanted them to sacrifice him. He saw it as the perfect completion of his legacy. His death would power the magic items, and they would go into the world to do exactly what he'd intended. The party, therefore, was faced with a choice with no clear right answer. They could accept the bargain, perform a dark ritual, sacrifice a willing participant, and walk away with powerful magic items that had some drawbacks, but nothing that they couldn't work around, perhaps. They could also take the magic items as they were and see if they would last for a while, or if they could find some way to circumvent the limitations that Varric was referring to. Or they could just walk away entirely, rejecting both the items and the ritual and leaving with nothing but the knowledge that they'd gained. The party chose the third option, sort of. They decided the magic items, even perfected, weren't worth participating in Varric's ritual. They attacked him, killed him, and left the vault empty-handed, at least in terms of magic items. I guess they just didn't trust the old wizard. So here's the question. Was this the right choice? I don't know. I don't think there is a right choice. There's just their choice. And I think we're still trying to figure out exactly why they made that choice. It seems to me like the characters are torn between fighting the orcs, which definitely have an oppressive rule in the region, but also trying to figure out how far they can fall in the direction of the most extreme opposition to the orcs. And by choosing not to take the magic items that were being offered by Varric, they, at least for now, have made a conscious decision that there are some lines that they will not cross when they are trying to do what they think is right. I'm sure that exploring this balance between what the characters want to do and how they're willing to do it is something that we'll continue to delve into now that we've decided to commit to a little bit more play in this particular campaign. I have pretty much caught you up to where we left things off before we decided to revive the campaign. So the next few videos that I'll do will be about the prep that I'm going to do before we run our next session. So I encourage you to tune in next time if you're interested how I set up for the next session of D&D Redmarch. In the meantime, as always, I wish you good health, I wish you good cheer, I wish you good gaming. Goodbye.